Shri Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvije Namaha Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Bless you.
How do you know? I'll try again. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. No more blessings. Okay.
Bless you, bless you.
Very kind of you, very kind of you. Jai. Amarinda is here with us too, from not Los Angeles, but from California. Near Los Angeles. By day he gave me the news. Come gave me the news. Up there. The fires burning there. So you see, for some people, there are fires burning. For other people, they're winning the lottery. For another person, they're getting released from jail. From somebody else, they're getting put in jail. Except it's Sunday, so maybe neither anybody's being put in jail or released on a Sunday. I don't know, thankfully. But somebody's losing, somebody's winning. This is happening all the time in the world. And only when something extraordinary happens, like mass destruction of a town or part of a town, then we become a little alert. Well, we can lose everything just like that in this world. And we can lose everything just like that in this world. That means our body, everything that we own. Just see the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur that we sing regularly. Nothing is ours, whatever pride we have in the world, whatever family and pride of our children and their this, that, and the other. Everything is gone, both the gross and the subtle. It's all left behind when we leave the body. And then what is left for us? What is left for us is the journey onwards. And yesterday we heard Srila Guru Maharaj. Could have been Srila Gurudev because we were listening to both. Anyhow, saying that after we leave our body, then there's generally a pause between getting a new body, and that pause, that place where we are bodiless but conscious. I mean, bodiless, but we are alive because we're always alive. The living soul, having once been, never ceases to be, etc., that we've heard from Bhagavad Gita since the beginning of our Krishna consciousness. Then that place, Guru Maharaj or Gurudev told, I have to check which one it was, but it's more difficult when we're listening, isn't it, to find the exact places. But Srila Guru Maharaj or Gurudev told that it's somewhere close to the moon. And that was a little original for me. Usually we hear it's the moon planet, Chandra Loka. But it said there in close to the moon is where the living entities, before being assigned their next body, they have their pause time, pausing there. Anyhow, we are always thinking we want to understand everything and know everything, but also knowing everything won't help, except when we can use any knowledge like this knowledge or any knowledge, use it to give ourselves inspiration, energy, focus for our journey home. And our journey home is not any of the lokas of this world. It is Goloka, the loka of the cows, believe it or not. Krishna's original home is Goloka, the planet of the cows. Hare Krishna. So, yes, we've just been reminded about California and things going on there, but all over the world on a smaller scale, but the destruction taking place, the opposite taking place, people proud to get the key of their house and somebody else unhappy to have lost their house. Hare Krishna. Gangalila, I am very close to LA. Yes, toxic air. Oh my goodness, that's a pretty wild photograph that she's put there to everyone too. Yes. Hare Krishna. Everything is burning. The fire didn't discriminate between reusable, recyclable, and not. Hare Krishna. Okay, that's about California. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all the devotees who are with us here. And in Thailand, we have Pavan. And I also saw somewhere Aparajita, but she's not here now. Yes. Oh, she's come back. I see. She's come back. Aparajita is here from Thailand, in Thailand too. And maybe Priya Sundari is in Thailand. Not sure. Yes. Okay. Nod of the head. Okay. I can see immediately where you are. Hare Krishna with Krishna Priya Devi Rasi, the head of Govinda Farm. Jai. Oh, she's making garlands. Look, you see devotees all over the world, from left to right. Left to right all over the world, making garlands, engaged in service. And Thailand, of course, like all hot and humid places, is a heaven for garlands. Big garden for flowers, isn't it? Beautiful. Good morning, Hare Krishna. And it is morning, yes, morning there in Thailand too still. All right, dear devotees, tell me any question this week from anybody. Don't be shy.
Maharaj, small question, if you allow. Could you, maybe you mentioned already, I remember that you gave us the list of the books to read during this year. This like, there's always Prapana Jivanamritam and Navadviptha Mahatmya, and there are a couple of more. I forgot. But could you tell us a little bit about this Navadviptha Mahatmya and how Srila Govinda Maharaj's attitude was towards its printing, or it's like her? I don't know about the book. Some history behind that, if you know. Just maybe Sridhar Maharaj's some expressions about these books.
Well, first of all, our book here in Vila Govinda, we're in Vila Govinda this time, we're meeting you, by the way. The book we're reading now, started to read in the evening, is the Navadip Dham Mahatmya here in Vila Govinda Ashram. But we haven't got to the texts yet because we've been reading for 2 evenings the description of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur by Srila Guru Maharaj. And the author of Navadip Dham Mahatmya is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Srila Guru Maharaj giving, well, of course, I mean, we're not here to judge, rating out of 10, but of course, Srila Guru Maharaj giving, the perfect understanding of who is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his glories, and some, you can say, history, if you like, why we should prick up our ears, give attention to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and telling about also Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, inseparably in that glorification. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the author of Sri Navadip Dham Mahatmya. And as with every book, Srila Gurudev said, we should begin at the beginning and not miss any part. So when we're reading, then we should begin the book at the beginning. And we're reading the prose edition, and it means there are 2 editions published from the mat of these 2 books of Bhaktivinoda Thakur about Navadip. One of them, printed more recently, is the verse-by-verse edition. And I was reminded that maybe a year ago, we actually sang the whole book, or we sang, if not the whole book, quite a large part of the book in verse form. And you can see it's in verse form, and it's beautiful to sing the book if you can see what's happening at the same time. It is very good. We should try to practice. And then you're all young and smart here, every one of you, I see, all young and smart. The more we practice to know what we're singing at the time of our singing, then it is good for us. And so Navadip Dham Mahatmya we can sing, and Navadip Bhavataranga we can sing, but it kind of goes more smoothly in the reading, and it is already decided for me, so you can't say, how did I decide we should read the prose version? It was already decided. So we're reading the prose version, which is very similar. And I started reading, a few years ago now, I started reading the verse form, the versified with all the verses in the translations, as a spoken book, because already the prose version is available as a spoken book. scsmap.com, on the left side, go to books, etc. And but I found it was so similar to the original that it wasn't that there was a big difference in the translation. I suppose we can say translation is translation. And so I didn't continue with that because it is already there. So either version is going to work for us. And when we get, excuse me, and when we get to read that introduction, then we will see there the history, how it came to manifest, the Navadip Dham Mahatmya, well, how did the appearance place manifest? How did Krishna want that the appearance place of Gauranga Mahaprabhu will manifest? And that came to Bhaktivinoda Thakur after he'd retired, in a dream that he kept on having, that he had to go to discover the appearance place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he could not, as Guru Maharaj pointed out, he could not ignore that repeated dream. So he went back to Bengal. That time he was in Vrindavan. He went back to Bengal, and he was in demand by the British government. They wanted his service. They didn't want that he retire because he was very good at what he did as a district magistrate and maybe another more senior post, I don't know, in due course of time. But he was very good at what he did. So the British wanted him. So he said, okay, I can come back into service, but in Krishnanagar. So he chose where he would be in service. And why Krishnanagar? Because there he would have access to all of the records, the maps, the old documents, etc., which are kept by the authorities since time immemorial, whenever that was. And this way, by the help of the maps, by the help of the local people, and by the help of his own realization and understanding, then he located that place of the appearance of Mahaprabhu. And to have this confirmed, he humbly petitioned to Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, please, you come, can you confirm this is correct? And this way also the world would see, and humbly he's saying this for confirmation of his own feeling and calculation, but also that the world will see that it is established, it is recognized, confirmed, not only by him, but by Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, renowned everywhere as the Babaji, the genuine Babaji. And when they brought Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj there, they brought him in a wicker basket. And we've described that wicker basket before, like a backpack that you put people in. And when he got there, because he's very aged, he's over 100 years old, and quite a lot over 100 years old. He was very aged. And then when he got there, he jumped out of that basket and was dancing and singing and confirmed this is the place of Mahaprabhu's appearance. And then after this, the Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, with the help of the documents, etc., that he had and everything that he'd accumulated, then he started revealing the lost places of Navadvip. And then so many places which had been lost because the Ganges changed its course, then those places were rediscovered and re-identified. And then this way, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur revealed those places in this Leela of Nityananda Prabhu taking Jiva Goswami on parikrama of Navadvip and identifying various of these places. And there we get, so many meters north of here, they came to this place and then this place. And so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur not only discovered the appearance place of Mahaprabhu, the Yoga Pit, and established the seva there, which is going on until now, is going on fully. But he also revealed the lost places of Navadvip Dham and revealed the glory of Navadvip Dham. And as Srila Guru Maharaj said, he gave Leela of Navadvip both distant history. We've got all sorts of examples from a long time ago, before Mahaprabhu appeared and long before Mahaprabhu appeared. We've got different history, if you like, of Leela in Navadvip, both ancient and modern. And modern means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we may not think, oh, that's modern, 500 years. Yes, 500 years is not so long ago. We were just staying in a house which is 400 years old. Add 100 years, we've got 500 years. Mathematics at its best. So anyway, Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, I'm not sure that I got an exact quote from Srila Gurudev. The book was published after Srila, I can't say, if it was after or before without looking at the book. It's either in the later time of Srila Guru Maharaj's manifest pastime or not too long after his disappearance. But yes, very important book for us. And we can say the books that Srila Govinda Maharaj published for the mat in Bengali, then when we get these in English, this is a great treasure, because otherwise, unless one is a little bit smart and learns Bengali, but actually you have to be a little bit smart plus, because it's not just the Bengali that's spoken in the marketplace, it's called Sadhu Bhasa. So you have to be a bit smart and then a bit smart on top of that to learn properly the Sadhu Bhasa. And until now, sorry to say, I need the translations, even though we may think we know the translation, we know all the words, but then the grammar comes into play, and then the poetic manifestation, how things come in poetry, and then every verse, I think every verse, almost every verse at least, of Chaitanya Charitamrita is in poetic form. So anyhow, so what is in Bengali, when that's come into English, then we can rejoice that we've got even more access to the treasures of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Gauradesh, the land of sweetness, from Gaura, Gaudiya, and Gauranga, all these things. So the Bengali Navadip Dham Mahatmya is little, choto, small book, because it doesn't have all the translations. It's a verse book. And there, the two books are printed separately. The Navadip Dham Mahatmya is printed as one book, and the Navadip Dham Bhavataranga is printed as another book. But they're both small books, and so you can put them in your top pocket, not your bottom pocket, but your top pocket, because they're books, and keep near your heart when you're on parikrama. And of course, the Bengalis do. So it's a very beautiful book for us, and Gurudev would expect us to read it. And we would read it on the Samadhi Mandir of Srila Guru Maharaj, the plinth, when we would do the daily classes. We would read Chaitanya Navadip Dham Mahatmya and Navadip Bhavataranga. We would read those books as we would do, as in every temple when we're doing some reading of the books. And generally that would be January, February, yes, coming up to probably February. But we are probably going to read it twice, because I expect we'll finish long before Gaurupanima. Then we're going to read it again before Gaurupanima. And I can say my own humble feelings, or I can say humbly my own, whatever feelings they are. Whenever I read Navadip Dham Mahatmya, I just feel everything is there. Means about the Vaishnavas, about Guru, about Nitai and Gauranga, about Radha and Krishna, about Bhakti Yoga and why Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. The holy Dham, the holy personalities. It has, like, everything is complete, is my own feeling when I read that. I think everything is here. And so, as with everything Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives, he's not giving just some facts, he's giving us solid spiritual nourishment in the understanding of the holy Dham and everything else holy that I just mentioned, and everything holy that I didn't just mention. Hare Krishna. So that's something. And Ganga Leela Devi Rasi must have a sore arm because she's had a hand up in the sky, holding her hand up in a good yoga posture for a long time. She got two hands up. Yes. Ganga Leela Devi.
That's funny because my question is related to that joke here is you know how you have sadhus in India holding up their arm for 10 years as an practice, as a yoga practice. And my question is actually, the Kumbh Mela is the biggest spiritual festival in the world every 12 years, and they're meeting on Monday, I think. I mean, they're probably already there. I think it's like as big as 400 million people, and the sadhus, they go and take sacred baths, etc., etc. So those are only Shaivites, is that correct? Or is any Krishna consciousness represented at that large festival in Prayag? I'm wondering about that because I know it's all about, you know, the Naga Babas, the sadhus just wearing ashes are going first to bathe in the sacred Ganga, etc. And yeah, that's my question, or if there's any Krishna conscious representation on a festival like that. And like also, what kind of importance does it have to participate in something like that or not?
Okay, well, I can say directly from Srila Gurudev, Srila Gurudev saying, the modern day, today's Kumbh Mela as it is, Srila Gurudev said that we have no place there. In other words, it's not our place to go to. And then you can say, oh, but we can go for preaching. Well, maybe, but we went to the Kumbh Mela for the Maha Kumbh Mela, is it called? The big Kumbh Mela every 12 years. There is a Kumbh Mela every year in one of three places, Prayag, Ujjain, and
Haridwar.
Haridwar. According to the astrology, yes, according to astrology, then it's calculated where it'll be. And we were at the last one, which will be 12, is it 12 years?
Yeah, it is, because it is the Mahakumbh Mela starting now, like with the full moon.
Oh, okay. Then yes, so 2012, no, 2013. Yes, correct, 2013. We were there for that, for making a documentary with Srila Avadut Maharaj, and he took over a whole team with the cameras, the sound, all the cooks. Devotees always take cooks. And he rented a house right as close as possible as that you can get to the Kumbh Mela, but actually rented a house so that we just walk across a field, and unfortunately the field was not it was very fragrant field for pigs to cross, because there's a lot of people, as you pointed out, and so people do have to go to the bathroom somewhere, so the perimeter generally is used for that purpose in India, to recycle all the goodness back into the earth. All right, anyway, we'd have to cross this field and then we'd be within the Kumbh Mela. But we went there to make a documentary, and that documentary, it is there, it's on YouTube somewhere, and must be other places too. But
I wonder if does anybody know? I'd want to watch it.
Okay, well, I don't know, but we probably could we can find out, but let's see, during the course, maybe somebody finds it. And if not, we can find out from the original source about where it may be. But interestingly, making a documentary, then we interviewed many people with the translator from Hindi to English, Bengali to English. We had translator, we had good sound, good camera, good everything. And it is one big mixed up non-understanding, understanding, and it's a big kittery, you would say, kittery. And lots of things. And what you said about some people holding their hand up for however many years, I don't know, it looks terrible. It's because that hand that's up, what's left is just basically the bone and that skin around, because that the muscles are not being used, the hand is up in the air. And it's like disfiguring one's own body, or partially disabling one's own body to get some very limited name and fame. You know, I'm famous because I've done that. And we see a lot of, a lot of ostentatious yogic behavior and a lot of ganja. And we're interviewing the sadhus and the heads of this, that, and the other, and we're going there to try to give some inspirational side to the festival, that everyone's looking for reality, but it may not be so. And the figure, I believe, for the last Kumbh, the big Kumbh Mela 12 years ago, it was the biggest gathering of human beings known in history, recorded in history. And it was, I think the official figure was like 112 million. But if the Vaishnavas were counting, I expect there were 400 million. I think the official figures were 112 million from the government itself, something like that. But I may be wrong, of course, but that was what was being discussed. And yes, Mahaprabhu went, but he went to purify the place. That is another thing, when the great personalities, and what to speak of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord himself, when they go somewhere, they are going for another purpose than the pilgrims. But that is another point, that what was consistent amongst the people we interviewed was they're going to wash off their karma. This is why they're going. And we also interviewed a train driver who drives the train that brings people from Delhi to there. He does that every day, but he drives this train all the time. We met, people with responsible jobs, but their motive was to come to clean off their karma. And so in India, everybody knows about karma. In the West, they want to close their eyes to karma, even though the heart may say, oh yes, bad karma, some reaction's going to come for this. But in India, they're a little bit conscious, yeah, the reaction is going to come for this. And so it's good to go when we hear that all our karma can be washed away, then let's go there. So hence, it's a huge festival. And for some reason in particular, well, for some good reason in particular, at this conjunction of the planets and everything, and the location, then to bathe at the confluence of the Ganges, the Jamuna, and the Saraswati, then all one's bad karma discipline is washed away. But as soon as that's washed away, the karma just starts being generated immediately out of the gate, going off to the shop to have their non-veg. Why not just say, instead of non-veg, why not just say, eat dead animals, to eat slaughtered animals? So what can we say? So, well, what we can say is, yes, there's no, as Gurudev said, there is no place for us there. And we did meet devotees there, so we met people doing something good, the prasad distribution. But in general, it's, as Guru Maharaj says, a jungle of religion. In India, especially, and now all over the world, where all over the world you've got little bits of what is in India. But in India, you got a whole jungle of religious understanding. And there you will find the jungle very nicely represented at the Kumbh Mela. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
So it is interesting that the biggest festival of the year is not a commercial festival. Because one thing we can say is that everybody who goes there, there is some austerity involved. And, you know, you're going there, mostly people have to make their own arrangement for some accommodation, food, etc. And by the way, we thought when we were there, when we were there, at least, it looks very like a big beach, because it's where the Ganges, when it's not in full Ganges, and there's lots of sand, so there's like a big beach area. And we also said when we were there, we thought, well, if people just take a look at a photograph of the Kumbh Mela, they'll think, oh, it's so hard, so beautiful, and you know, big beach and all this. But when we were there, the wind was coming down the valley the valley means coming down from the Himalayas, and it was cold. We were cold throughout the wind, and a little austere. But we're happy enough for that. So please, dear devotees, don't be attracted to go to the Kumbh Mela. And if you think you want to go there to take some pictures, well, people have already taken lots of pictures. Just find some good pictures and say, oh, that's the Kumbh Mela. Let us use our time for direct Krishna consciousness. Direct Krishna consciousness is good. And we met some devotees at the Kumbh Mela, but they were smoking pot too. So I don't want to comment too much there. If you go into that association, then you're likely to be influenced by that association. Not all the devotees, I met other devotees who weren't smoking pot, but we did go there, and then openly devotees doing their old habits. But when you start to do that and it's considered spiritual, you're on dangerous ground. Hare Krishna. Shri Leka Devirasi Kum Devirasi. Who will win the humility competition this week? Okay. You're being volunteered, Shri Leka Devinasi. So I think you've just been defeated. Oh, my goodness. Shri Leka Devinasi.
Voluntold, Maharaj.
Excuse me?
Voluntold.
Oh, voluntold, yes.
You tell them.
Maharaj, I never would enter into a humility contest. I would be completely defeated by anyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So you are a wise lady of some age in Krishna consciousness. Lifetime after lifetime, we mean by this.
Well, I think if you stay awake, if you stay alive long enough, you're going to be a senior devotee. So I just stayed alive a long time. But anyway, we're thinking a lot about, like, in hearing about Kumbh Mela, you know, there are ocean, like you were quoting Guru Maharaj, is a religious jungle. But if we are paying attention and training our mind to come back, to step back, Guru Maharaj said, Srila Prabhupada told us, Intelligence means perspective. We always have to pull back from a thing and see where it's going. And no matter how alluring, like Krishna's warning us in the Bhagavad Gita, not to be allured by the flowery words of the Vedas. And if we are careful to always come back away from a situation and take a look at what it really is in the long spans of time, where it is leading us, then we will avoid many situations which will be very distracting. Because really, spiritual life begins, actual spiritual life begins with complete surrender to the Lord. That's where it starts. When we are beginning to practice a full awakenment through the current of compassion and mercy that is the will of the Lord, then we're beginning an actual spiritual path. Everything else leads to nothing. A million blessed deeds that are given in the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas, wanting to rid oneself of gross material reactions so that one can enter into a nicer plane of material life. But that won't last. It won't last. In the end, you'll have to leave that situation and you don't even know who you are still. And that's just the fact of things. So we don't want to go snooping around the jungle. We already have the essence of things in Navadvip Mahatmya, Navadvip Bhavajangi. Those books are astonishingly beautiful. And we have our Prapanna Jivanamritam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Upadeshamrita, and so many Brahma Samhita. These are essences. And there's no cheating in any of them. We are going to become actual honest souls for the first time. Actual devotees of Krishna. Without any motive. This is our ideal. And when we hear about this ideal, then we have to hear regularly about the beauty and the honesty of real spiritual progress. And that it will take us out of all of these tricks and, we're like ninjas, trying to avoid the responsibility of the situation that we find ourselves in. And we're always blaming this and blaming that, and it's because of this, and it's because, we're avoiding. But if we just take shelter of Krishna under any circumstance, he will show us. No, you're seeing, you're in fault here. Your fault is here. So now I'll take away that fault. And you will become actually honest. And honesty means actual devotion, like slavery to reality, without any want of anything in return. That is an honest life. And it's so exalted and it's so worshipable that even Krishna is he's saying, I feel bewildered by the beauty of this, of devotion. So we're just going to hang on and not get distracted by any cheap knockoff thing that may be presented along the way. But we're going to pray at the holy lotus feet of Guru and Gauranga that we will never deviate from this path, that we will be protected. We have our guardians and they're with us. And we are always pray to them that you will, Goptrite Varanam, you are my guardian. And, Avasara Kibe Krishna, I'm sure you will protect me in this path. give me the great association, Bosechi Shangera Ache. I'm sitting at your feet. I'm praying for good association. And it's a very simple thing after that. We just have to stay in good association, constantly hear about this beautiful prospect, and try to practice in the mood of humility and just, tolerance and giving honor. And just keep on this simple path and not to get distracted by so many other things. Anyway, we already know all that, but remind
Shilek HD, could you please clarify a little bit about this? Krishna says, I will take your fault and you will become honest. This part.
Yes, Guru Maharaj is telling us. And, in so many places, and I was just reading something now because, the topic came up of the conflagration of it going on in Los Angeles right now, and so much lamenting. And Krishna said, you cannot, Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, you cannot understand how many factors have come together to make any given event. Any given event, you cannot control that. He said, don't waste your time. All these things must happen. And he said, just like if you see a mother, and I'm getting to your question, Devi, but if you see a mother beating her child, why are you? And somebody coming and say, oh, she's so cruel. But another one who knows the family better says, she's so easy on that kid. She should give him so much more beating. So what is coming to me subjectively? What is coming to my view, to my experience? Guru Maharaj said, it is the necessity for my progress at this moment. This is called truth. It's true. I have some necessity. And Krishna knows exactly what that is. So if I bow to that and say, yes, my Lord, you have arranged this, then he can take that away. He can show us, oh, you see what I'm showing you right now? And by doing that, we can see, oh, yes, this quality in myself has to go. And he will also help us to take that away. And this is our practicing life now. We are practitioners. We are in the clearing stage of so many dishonest practices that we don't even recognize that they're dishonest. We don't know how to cure ourselves of these things. But Krishna knows. And he's sending the very situation which will show me something that I need right now for my progress. And he will take that away. But we need to bow down to that and say, yes, my Lord, this is good for me. I don't know how it's good for me, but I know you're my guardian. And you have brought this to me. So it is good. And then we can see so many doors suddenly opening and a different perspective altogether. And we could say, oh, this thing that I thought was my enemy was coming as a friend to show me something about my own self. Atmakritam, I did this. I made this mess. Atmakritam vipakam, this is the result of my own activities. And so, this is that verse that Srila Guru Maharaj quotes so much from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam and spoken by Lord Brahma. And we've, of course, heard this verse so many times. But he said, this is our real practice and our understanding of the world. We must see the world through the eyes of this verse. That tattenu kampam sushamikshamano. Sushamiksha means I am looking to examine my own fault. Bunjane vatmakritam Vipakam. This is the result of my own activities, that I have this necessity for my rectification. But it is coming from a sweet, sweet, gentle hand. A smiling face of the Lord is behind that. Vid Bhagavad Purbir Vididam Namaste Yo Jiveti Yo Mukti Pade Siddhayabha. Simply by this understanding, mukti, this freedom from all these things will come very, very quickly. And we have to see everything in that way. That the Lord's loving hand is behind everything. And our prejudices will be cleared. We will begin to see what is what in truth. So Guru Maharaj said that if you will live by this verse and see the whole world by this verse, then your days in this world are numbered. Very quickly, very quickly. Krishna wants us to come to him. He wants to remove the obstacles that are standing, that we have put it in the way of our loving of him. So we simply have to let him do that. And he's doing it through the divine environment. We will see, Guru Maharaj said, when your eyes are cleared, you will see Vrindavan everywhere, everywhere you look. And Srila Gurudev was saying, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk too long, I think. But does that answer your question? He's coming to do that. And in the Gita, and he's saying, Mame kam sharanang bhajam aham tvang sarva papebhyo. All your sins, all your tendencies against me, moksha ishyami, I'm going to take those away from you. Ma shucha, don't worry. If you surrender to me, Mame kam, just me, sharanam, if you surrender to me, braja, hinting at where that will take us, aham tvang sarva papebhyo, all this dishonesty within you, moksha ishami, I'm going to take this away from you. Ma shucha, don't worry, I got you. We have to see the guardian's hand everywhere. And this takes practice, and it takes a constant reminder about that. This may be wrong, this may be bad, but why did you show this to me? Why did you bring this to me, my Lord? I want to see your purpose. And he wants us to see it. He will show us why that was necessary. And actually, so many times the environment is coming as a mirror of my own self. I think it's so bad, but then when you look at, I do that same thing. Oh, now I see why this is coming to me again and again, to show me some disease in my own self. And then so gentle, we'll feel it so gentle. And Guru Maharaj said, you will see the smiling face behind the screen. And that's how, anyway, that was very long, Maharaj, excuse me.
We need to be, I heard from some good authority just today, we need to hear again and again. So you've given us our dose of forceful remembrance of the necessities of our life, which come to surrender. And how will we hear again and again? Through sadhana. What is sadhana doing? What is sadhu sangha doing? It's giving us this constant reminder. Kumkamdiri, would you like to say a few words briefly, or should we wait till next time and put you on the hot chair straight away?
Please say.
That chair is very, very warm because of so much nourishment. And actually listening to Srila Kaditi give this essential talk, this is such a recurring theme when you hear from her. And it actually is quite essential. This point is being given to us that we need to be in constant hearing of this, and it needs to color all of our actions, all of our prayers, our activities, our practices need to be with this constant mood of let me be surrendering to this kind Lord, so that we become free from the deception that we put ourselves in by wanting to believe that I have some control over what is going on to myself, or I may have some friend, close friend that I know intimately what they're going through, and I want to change that. I want to manage, or some family member, or small child, or you want to manage those things, but by seeing through the eyes of our Guru's teachings, and we come to see that it's all being done by him for the highest purpose, and it's not punishment. That's one thing that really differentiates Krishna consciousness from all other conceptions of religion. It's done because we're being dragged into the sweetest nectar, the depth of the treasures which we are being given, the sweetness of that extreme, extraordinary wealth, which is the eternal type of wealth, not the kind of wealth that can be easily washed away by floods or burned by fires. But the reason that we want to become a Vaishnav, become a surrendered servitor of the Lord, is because it is the sweetest path. It is the tastiest thing that we can be doing, and not to just, our gurus are not simply saying that like it's a nice emotional pitch. You know, sometimes you'll see a company will become successful in doing something like children's books or something sweet, and it sounds charming and attractive, and it just falls short after some time. And this is not that. They're saying this because it is the most honest. It's absolutely honest, and it's beckoning to us very strongly. This is our fortune. Our guardians, like Srila Prabhupada would answer all of his correspondence, your ever well-wisher. And they are caring so much more for our prosperity than we even imagine that we would desire. If somebody said, what do you want? What would be your goal? And we could come up with some list of what we think would make us happy, but actually we have no idea of the magnitude of what our well-wishers, our guardians, are designing for us. Even if it seems to us that we're being pulled temporarily, it might seem like we're being jerked in some way that we want to resist, but behind that discomfort, that very temporary discomfort, is the extreme loving reaching out of our Lord.
Jai, and what a beautiful point, that it's the affectionate hand of the Lord that's coming to teach us, to bring us home. It is not punishment, and that distinguishes us from, one of the things that distinguish us from many religions of the world. It's just punishment.
Yeah.
And on this theme of constantly hearing and etc., being reminded constantly, doing our sadhana, I can give you, I can't say it's the quote of the week, but it's what what is in the front of my mind, which I have been repeating, and it's very short, and now I just have to find it again. This is Srila Guru Maharaj, and it is in the Upadeshamritam, the illumination by Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And it's maybe 4 sentences, so I know we're a little at the end of time, but on this theme, Srila Guru Maharaj saying, we must try to nurture the creeper. This is the Bhakti Lata creeper. We must try to nurture the creeper on our level by watering it So on our level, we must try to nurture the creeper of devotion on our level by watering it with the practices of hearing, chanting, and so on. And overhead, in the background, the creeper may grow up. We are to do sadhana, cultivation of Krishna, through sadhu sangha, nam sankirtan, and worship of the deity. We will engage in service to Sri Gurudev and the Vaishnavas. And these other duties we will perform while internally our aspiration will rise up and up and up. Then one day, by the association of that creeper, we will be taken up to that highest stage automatically. Naturally, we will be taken there. Automatically, naturally, we will be taken there. So this is our sadhana, to constantly remind ourselves about Krishna consciousness by following the practices, the sadhana, the things that we are doing just now in our day-by-day life. And we try to make this not just when we go to the temple, not just on special days, but every day. Our life is too short, our everything is too short, and we've got this wonderful super opportunity. And by the way, Srila Guru Maharaj's, and Srila Gurudev, no doubt, but Srila Guru Maharaj's glorification and description of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the front of Navadvip Mahatmya, it is so sort of clear and waking us up that this is the standard of pure soul who's come to rescue us, to bring us out of darkness into light. And the Kumbh Mela and so many things. In the middle, there may be some, Vaishnavas. We give our respect from a distance, but we give our respect, but from a distance. To all of the sadhus, with some of them doing great austerity. It is freezing cold. They are naked. I mean, some of them. So you got to say they're not living the 5-star luxury life of the hotels, but we give our respect from a distance. What has been given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by Srila Guru Maharaj, by Srila Gurudev, this is unparalleled. It is of the highest order, and everyone else in their own way, they're going through their purification, their whatever it may be, but they're going through either karma, or if they are sincere, Krishna will bring them step by step. But somehow or another, we've got this birth with this connection. So let us not look down on others or this, that, and the other, but let us look up to what is coming from above and just know that really we've got this opportunity. And what do we have to do? Our sadhana, with sadhu sangha, with seva, with harinam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, as Guru Maharaj just pointed out. Sri Lekadidi reminding us, Kumkumdidi reminding us always, the affectionate hand of the Lord. And a very good point too, that this is not punishment. This is not like a vindictive hand for having done wrong. It's the affectionate hand of the Lord. And taking us where? To a rather beautiful place called Goloka Vrindavan. And all this happens in the proper way, through Vaishnava, Guru, the special Vaishnava, the Guru, Gauranga, and this way is our proper approach to Radha Krishna's pastimes. So the properest, most proper approach is follow the guidance of Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada. And don't worry that we don't have to judge everybody else what's happening, but we do want to keep our eyes open and come forward safely in good association and away from any criticism, away from any blasphemy of the Vaishnavas, this, that, and the other. We want to stay very clean and clear. And now the danger in the world is that there are Vaishnavas, so we must be careful not to offend Vaishnavas. Before there were hardly any Vaishnavas in the West. Now there are many. Let us appreciate their qualities and let us appreciate everyone as a spark of Krishna's energy, but a special spark. Everyone's got their importance, as it were, but their real importance is in Krishna Leela. In Goloka Vrindavan, everyone is cared for by Krishna. All right, dear devotees, there are some links in the chat box, and the links are, I think, mostly to do with Kumbh Mela. Is that right, Sevarupadiri? Did you?
Dandavats Maharaj and dear devotees. Yes, the one link is the audio book to the Hidden Treasure of Navadvip Dham.
Okay.
And then there's, yes, some links for the Kumbh Mela by Priyanana Didi as well. And then just a link for tomorrow. It's Sriman Mahaprabhu leaves Navadvip in the night to go to Katwa to take sannyas. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, so that's coming up tomorrow. Well, we definitely appreciate the reminder. So that's tomorrow. So expect it to be cold tomorrow. The coldest day of the year in Navadvip, it very often was. And it looks quite cold in Chiang Mai, Mei Rim, which is not so far from Navadvip. They're saying it's cold. And here, I'm actually wearing short sleeves underneath here. But yesterday felt like spring here in Vila Govinda Ashram. Relative worlds. But it really felt like spring. I'm not sure that it feels like spring just now, but I am wearing short sleeves. And where's Keshavananda Roop? Thank you for the short sleeve quarter, Keshavananda. Appreciate very much. All right, dear devotees, time to continue our day, for you to continue your days, your evenings, your mornings, wherever you may be. And time to say Jai Srila Gurudev Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakhok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. And Jai Bhagavan Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat of Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. And the Sunday festival of Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat all over the world Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai.
Dandavat pranam to you all. And by the way, I'm not necessarily promoting that Kumbh Mela video. I don't quite remember what the content was, but it was certainly quite interesting. To make it means to be involved in interviewing people. Keeps us appreciative, definitely, of what we have. Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai. Dandavat. All good wishes. Have a good week. Chant Hare Krishna. Be happy. Keep your heart simple. Chant the holy name. Serve the Vaishnavas. Honor Prasadam. That's about it. As Sri Lekha said, it's very simple. So it is. Let's stay alive in Krishna consciousness. Govinda Govinda.